Sagong. This is Big House coming to you from Akwesasne. In Mohawk, that's interpreted as Where Partridge Drum. As a child, I had the pleasure of playing with what is called an Indian rattle, and it's one of my favorite little things. So I went back to the reservation and got lucky enough to run into an elder who still made the corn rattles. This is my corn rattle, and I'd like to take just a few moments to teach you how to make your own corn rattle. You see, I am of the turtle clan, or family, so my corn rattle wanted to be a turtle. And inside is corn to make the rattle. Now these are very useful when you have small children or babies that you want to have them play with something. But I also use them for native storytelling, and I tell a story about the boy and the snake, because it does kind of sound like a rattlesnake when you shake it. But today, instead of the story, I'll tell you that later, I want to teach you how to make a corn rattle. It's very easy, but it takes a little time. You see, the rattle itself is in the shape of a turtle, because I'm in the turtle clan and I really love turtles. So I take a piece of rawhide that's untanned deer skin, rawhide, and I cut it out in the shape of a turtle twice, top and bottom. I will take and punch small holes about every 3/8 of an inch, hope you can see those, all the way around the edge, in about maybe 1/8 of an inch. This is very tough hide, so it'll take it. And I cut my strings very thin, very, very thin, like 1/8 of an inch out of the good part of the hide. Then I take those two pieces of rawhide, and they are very stiff and hard. If you want to do it the traditional way, you soak those two pieces of skin in the creek for a month. They will come out very slimy and stretchy. With that, you will sew them together, the two pieces. You've also put the string in there, so it's slimy and stretchy too. You stretch it out, you sew it all the way around. Then you take the turtle, and you leave this end open, and you pack this turtle with wet sand. And you pack it as tight as you can get it. I mean, very as tight as you can get it, and it'll stretch right out just like a balloon. You put that in the sun, and every day for a month you turn it over. Once each day, turn it over. Leave it in the sun for a month, and after a month it's as hard as a rock. Then you take out the plug that you put in there. You dump out all the sand, because by now it's going to be dry. It'll pour right out. Then this is the hard part, you go out in the woods and you find yourself a real genuine piece of Native American stick. It's pretty much a straight stick off the first tree you find. Then you take that stick and you put it on the turtle. But before you do, you go find yourself some Indian corn. I don't know if you can see inside of there the corn. I couldn't find any Indian corn, so I went to the sacred 7-Eleven tribe and I got some popcorn, which sounds just like Indian corn inside this rattle. You put some popcorn in there, or Indian corn if you can find it, inside, and then you tie that stick, the real Native American stick, on here with rawhide, wet rawhide. It'll shrink on there harder than a rock. I decorated it with a little bit of tanned leather just for show, and you can put feathers on it or beads, whatever you want. I put a little bit of green leather on there for show, and you got yourself a corn rattle. The pattern on there is a Navajo pattern of the battle that we all fight within each other, of the good wolf and the bad wolf. I fight that battle internally myself, have all my life, so it's a very meaningful signal to me. So, what you want to do if you want to build a corn rattle is get yourself out there with some rawhide. You can find all of the materials. Well, you can find the Native American stick in any woods anywhere. But all the rest of the rawhide and everything else, you can find at Prairie's Edge in South Dakota. It's a supply house that'll give you any kind of native material you want. I recommend it. It's reasonable and it's good, wholesome stuff. This is a Big House. Thanking you for the time and thanking you for staying with us on Ask an Injin, giving you the native views. Saying Ona, which is see you later in Mohawk.